Have you ever noticed that a lot of high-quality viral videos have been popping up on social media lately? When this editing trend first started, it was mostly simple talking head videos and few basic emojis. But now, we are seeing a surge of high-quality videos that grab attention and keep viewers engaged. In this video, we're gonna create 3 stunning high-quality scenes from scratch, step by step. And we will do it using only CapCut. But first, let's watch the final result.
I genuinely fucking hate universities. The entire system is basically built to create workers, and that's why there's so many emotional triggers to have you fall into line, even if you look at the way the desks are placed. So the entire education system is just a propaganda machine.
To start off, we're gonna make the main cuts from the original video. You can also find the video on YouTube. Then, let's add the black solid on timeline and change the rotation by 90 and scale it around 200%. So, go to the mask menu and click Add Mask and choose Split Mask. Then rotate the mask horizontally and increase the fader a bit. This creates a gradient like. For the main background, we're gonna use chalkboard. I will share all the asset links so you can also use them. After we arrange the background layer, let's make the movement. At first frame, I am move it out of the scene, then click the position keyframe, and around 10 frames later, moving to left again. Now, it's time to use the mask to separate timeline from the background for the animations we're gonna create. We're gonna select the main video and duplicate it by pressing Option. Then, select the copied layer and go to the video section, remove background, and click Auto Removal. Now that we have the background animation, and let's prepare our main part. We'll add a main layer and scale it up, and also we will add the PNG gradation cap. Then click Mask, Mask Rectangle, and Circle. Click Reverse button so we can make the mask look more realistic. Then we're gonna rearrange the mask carefully. Let's choose both layer, right click, and create compound clip. It's ready for positioning. Now first, click the position keyframe button, then go back a little and move the layer down. Next, press Option key, select the keyframe, and click the Easy Ease button. And we will do the same for the other keyframe, and this just creates this smooth movement. And now, we'll remove the eyeman at the same time with using opacity. Let's add the first keyframe around here, and a few frames later, set the opacity to 0. Now, let's go back to the girl in the foreground and scale her up throughout the entire scene. So here comes the magic part, and that's one of the reasons that I like CapCut. We'll go to the filters, find the black eyes filter, and drag it to the timeline. And then we're gonna add one more filter called Dark Night. And finally, let's set the intensity around 40. Now everything is set up, let's add the second background and text. Let's find the star banner on Canva and download it as a PNG. Then let's add the star right behind of the girl, and move it more higher. Also, we can add some rotation movement. For this, add the rotation keyframe to first frame, then add one more keyframe, set the rotation around 50, and move it to the last of the scene. And let's start making our text. Click the default text, drag and drop the timeline. Then we will write our first word. And move the text into our star. I'll use the font called Lightning, and you can also find the same font on the link down below. Then let's set the size around 16 and change the color something like dark blue. And after that, we'll go to text animation and select snow blur effect. Increase the duration around 1.1 second. And again, go to animation, then loop, and select ink paint. Then set the speed around 1 second. And finally, we can duplicate our text layer and change the second word as university. Then set the scale around 26. Great, so we finished up absolutely everything, and let's go ahead and make the manual transition. First, let's find the great looking column on freepik.com. Then remove the background so we download it as a PNG file. Then click the mask, add mask, and choose rectangle. Now we can select and mask one of them and set the scale around 200. Next step, let's move our column out of the scene. Then click the position keyframe button. About 1 second later, add another keyframe and move the column to the left. Now we'll mask each layer separately so we can make a space for our second scene. First, I will go with background layer, add the split mask, rotate 90 degrees, then move the mask line to the area where the column is. Then click reverse so we can mask it to the right area. So frame by frame, we will just move the mask position and continue. Then I will do the same for other layers. And there you go, that does it for our first scene, and this is what everything looks like at the end. It's now time to move on our second scene. First, let's start with the really dark cloud background, fit the scale with the scene. Then let's add a big house PNG file and scale it up as well. And next step, add position keyframe, move a little bit, and set the house building position down. Press Option plus key, open Y-axis, select the keyframe, and make it easy. Now it looks way smoother. Let's add this image from freepik, but I'm gonna remove the background first. drag and drop the image and put it behind of the building on the timeline. For the black line on the ice, let's try to fix it inside CapCut. Let's go to the media, library, and select the black solid and move it to timeline. Then add a new mask, make it smaller, and so it fits the eye area. Before make the positioning, select both layers, right click, and create compound clip. Then I'm going to place where I want to finish the movement and add a keyframe. And going back a little bit, then change the layer's position around here. And finally, I'm adding this walking green screen video into timeline. But first, we need to get rid of this background. So we will go to remove background, chroma key, and pick the green color of the video. Then scale it up, move it down, duplicate by pressing Option key, select both layers, and create compound clip. Then choose the duplicated one and add a mirror effect, so it will look more realistic. Great, so we now have our second part. Let's go and prepare the next scene. This time we will add spring background on our timeline, and make it bigger so we can hide the dark background. Then we'll remove the filters because we don't need this dark looking space. I'm also adding keyframes for intensity so it can close slowly. And next step, we will let the position keyframes for the man and the crowd to remove them. Then I'm gonna scale up the home by around 30% so it will cover the most of the scene. Let's go to the filters and choose HD Dark. And set the intensity around 50. And we will add one more filter, which is Vivid 2. Also decrease the intensity to 50 as well. Then go to Effects and add Sun Effect. Make sure the atmosphere setting is around 30. We also need to set the house layer color because now it looks too shiny. Let's decrease the exposure around -15 and play with saturation settings. So far this is how it looks like. And I'm gonna add the next stuff, which is gradation adds. As we did before, we need to remove background with using chroma key. After scaled up, let's move it into our scene. And finally we will import our this set of students into timeline and remove background as well. So, our second scene is finished up. Now it's time to move on to our last two scenes, which we'll be creating using AI. Let's find some good looking classroom image. Also don't forget to click only AI generated. So we will use this image and I'm gonna try prefix on AI generator. As you can see, it's automatically created a scenario itself, and for now we can try this one. It takes around 5 minutes and it's looking good so we can use it. I'm gonna remove the unnecessary parts and also make the layers smaller. Then select the filters that we used at the first scene and duplicate it, then move it above the right AR video. For the transition, we use layer 2. Drag and drop right in the middle of the cut and decrease the duration. So far this is how it looks like. Now let's make the second part. This time I just download the AI created image, but we will make the movements from CapCut. So choose the image, then go to filters, video effects, click motion folder, then select 3D zoom effect. After waiting a while, we created smooth, good-looking 3D movements easily. And finally, we'll add the same transition into our last scene. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end, guys. And by the way, after I finish the tutorial editing, I just noticed I'm going so fast, but I will fix in the next one. So, have an amazing day.